I have the distinct pleasure and the honor to introduce you today, this afternoon, from Guadalajara, Mexico. No? No? Not yet. Where are you from? Where are you living at now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Where are you living at now?
What's up?
Where are you living at now?
In Guadalajara.
Yeah, okay, that's right. So once again, live from the Nova Green Screen Hangar, redo. Just kidding, mulligan. From Guadalajara, Mexico City, the middleweight champion, Gilberto.
Zaragoza.
Soren Zaragoza. Come on, man, are you kidding me? I could have gone on for a week right there. I got a show to run. Ladies and gentlemen, take it away, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Well, on this side, El Flaco, Louis, Tucci.
From East LA. Thank you, I got like no applause. I'm out.
Okay, guys. Well, first of all, thanks for being here. And second of this, it's been a while since the last time that I speak in English, so give me a chance, please. Okay, so let's start. My talk is going to be about freelancing, hand by hand with ZBrush. First of all, I'm going to show you the fixed project that I did on ZBrush 8 years ago. And it was this. Just give me a second. Yeah, this. It's awesome, right? It looks like shit. Well, this project took me...
I have to applaud you, man. Most people don't lead off their presentations by showing a very old piece of work and being so vulnerable, so you get a round of applause for that, man. I'm really trying to come up here. He's actually human. He's actually human.
Well, this project took me almost a week, and you can notice there's a lot of overpainting. And when I did this, I decided to 3D wasn't my thing, so I went back to 2D art. But a year ago, I decided to give it a second chance, and this is how it looks now. And this time took me less than 4 hours, plus around the times. And everything was done with ZBrush and K-Shot. So, okay, when I make hands, oh yeah, tools and that kind of stuff. What brushes use, dude? Move, Dem Sander, Clay Pull-ups, Clay. Most of the time, that's all that I use on the software. All the time on ZBrush, mostly rendering K-Shot, the post-production on Photoshop. Sometimes I use Max, and that's for when I have some projects that needs to be ASAP. And when it's for production for video games, I use Substance Painter. For the fabrics, I use Marvelous. And lately, I started to use Vintage Photo. So, okay, the introduction. I've been working as a professional since the past 8 years, 7 years, sorry. The first one was as a junior in a studio in Mexico, in a small studio. And I was there working for 2D art. But since the first month, I started to jump from one project to another, to another, to another. So I had the chance to work in texturing, rotoscopy, landscapes, environments, character design. But I was in 2D. But I was curious about the 3D department, so every time that I had a chance, I went there to talk with the guys and look what they were doing. But I decided to quit because they paid me less than $250 per month. So it was like nothing. And I quit. I know that I had the chance to learn more there, but I quit because it wasn't enough for me, because we need to pay the bills and that kind of stuff. So, and in between, to realize what I was working as a freelancer, it was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it seems fun, because my first project was for a small studio in Mexico as a freelancer, and they pay me much more than what I did in a whole month in that studio. So little by little, I started to work from my house in small projects and my personal artwork. And it was in 2013 when I had the chance to work with a studio in Spain as a freelancer. It was for a live-action series with CGI. Project never landed, but I had the chance to meet other people that knows working in ILM and PC, so we grow all together. And little by little, I started to work more in my portfolio. At the time, I was so shy. I was so nervous about showing my work. But my friends pushed me to show it on Facebook, and at that time was on Brimster Challenge. And I started to work on that, and I received really good reviews of my work. And that gave me the chance to start working with studios here in LA, other ones in Canada. And suddenly, Disney looking for me to work as a freelancer, Disney Publishing. And I said yes, and I started to work with them, and little by little, I started to get new contracts with different companies. But I was like, sometimes there was no job, and I was so scared about freelancing. I was looking to work in-house, but that never happened. So pretty prepared, I started to realize this. The trick was, well, what makes the deal? First of all, we are artists, but also we are problem solvers. There are different people around the world that they have an idea, but they don't know how to take it or how to land it. And we have the skills as an artist to solve those problems. So I do that when I consider myself as a storyteller because I love to create worlds. Most of the people knows me for characters, but when I work in a character, I'm thinking the whole universe, where he came from. Being curious. That's a basic because we need to work and we need to learn how to solve different things. And with this always comes failure equals experience. We're gonna fail, but at the end, it's just experience, and we're gonna get better and better and better. So don't be afraid about that, just keep going. Create good habits too. We need to be professionals. The volume of work is gonna talk a lot about us. So be there, keep working, and show it. Prepare your ego for the critics. That's a basic. Because when you start to show your work, there's always going to be something that you didn't do pretty well, and somebody else is going to notice that. I'm going to give you advice, and you better take it in the good way. Interact with the art community. That's a basic. We came here. Meet people, meet your heroes. That's simply awesome. And with this comes this. Creating while learning, learning while creating. Just do it. I started to realize these simple things to make things happen. It's create opportunity. Study about business, because as a freelancer, you're running your own company. And it's not like an in-house studio where human resources is going to solve it all. You need to do it by yourself or contract somebody else, but you need the money to pay for that person. Know your value. Sometimes we struggle a lot to know how much to charge, and it's not hard. You just need to see what is going on right now in the most common places like ArtStation or on Facebook and check the design challenge, sorry. And from there, you're gonna see what is the industry working now, and if you have the skills to be there. Learn social skills. Like I was telling you, I was so shy. Started to travel to Europe, going to different art festivals, giving talks, giving the chance to open myself to different people, meet people around the world, and open my mind. And with this comes something that I really love, is Cutting Out the Middleman by Ben Mauro. I don't know if you know it, but he's one of my heroes. And this rule that changed my life, talking about incomes as a freelancer. Because let's make an example. There's a company that has $10,000 to solve something for their production, and they know that there's somebody who helps them to solve that. That person in the middle don't have the skills, but he has the social skills to look for somebody else who has the art skills to solve the problem, but he don't know how much to charge. And he's gonna give him just like $2,000. He's gonna keep $8,000 for himself, just doing this from this. And that sucks. So avoiding that, cutting that person, and going directly to the companies, going to increase your rates a lot. And with this comes social medias and networking. In this photo, I'm showing my buddies. One of them are here. All of them went in Malta or THU. So travel, talk with people about what you love. Surround yourself with people that inspire you and love what you do. And these guys give me this. Every time that I feel down, we just have a chat and we support each other all the time. And we met on Facebook. Lately, we meet in person, different art festivals around the world. So yes, Facebook, ArtStation, counts on art festivals. Go there, meet people, open yourself to other persons. And the artwork, of course, quality over quantity. At the beginning, I was telling you about the volume of work, but also you need to look to improve your work. Define your targets, even if that means having different portfolios for different markets. For example, a lot of people know me for creators and creepy stuff, but I actually work on toys, collectibles, concept art for movies, TV shows, video games, book illustration, and advertising. I'm going to show you some of that. For example, this one was for Warner Collectibles. This is early blocking for the basic forms. Now this is defining and defining the elements of the exploring and experimenting my idea. I was just putting things that I see on the brief. We changed a lot on the final one. So what's this? Batman and Robin fighting each other while the Joker is just laughing there. And there's another render of this. So that a few photos on the prototypes that we did in the studio. Another project was Woody Harrelson as Mickey Mouse. It was fun because this was my first time making a likeness. I was so scared about that, but I like it. I don't know what you think about this. Their market, well, no, same market, sorry, the project was this one that I did for Warner Collectibles and DC Comics, together with Geek X studio in Australia. You can see the first concepts, then early progress, and the final one on the right side, on the left side, sorry. I'm gonna show you the file on ZBrush. Just give me a second. This project has a funny story because this was my first project 4 years ago, working with Warner. When they approached me, I never knew how much to charge. And I was like, yes, dude, I'm gonna ask for $900. How much time? Just give me a week. They asked me many times that, because it was, yes, I want $900 for this. I did it. It took me a month to finish it. And to give me a plus $1,200. I was like, what the fuck? Why are they giving more money than I was changing for this? Then I was curious about that, so I asked this guy, I don't know if you know him, Eric Sosa. He gave me a good advice about how much to charge, and I was impressed about the money that I could do making collectibles. So yes, this is the story about this project. And you can notice there's nothing exceptional, just using the research that I was telling you. The porosity, there's a few subtitles, some props. I'm just enjoying creating. And like I was telling you, I use most of the time K-shot rendering, so I'm gonna make it fast. My setup. Just gonna, here is something, yeah. You're gonna notice it's really simple to approach it. Just waiting, give a second. Come in. I think I break it. Well, I continue with the talk. We visit, oh, here it is. Yep. It's super heavy. So I merge all the materials. I like this amount of roughness, specular, white. I play with different HDRA. I'm going to look for one that is soften. It's this one. Just gonna make some changes on it. Environment, settings. So this, I increase the brightness. I just rotate it. It's going to be like this. And sometimes I change these two colors. Give me a second. And that's it. So simple. You have some questions? Just raise your hands. Okay, continuing with the talk. This was another project that I did for 3D World magazine. They asked me to create a whole tutorial and recording the video of how I create characters. I started to create a lot of silhouettes. You can see here just head, I did more than 50. Then I did the early concept. I started just blocking and sculpting. After that, just refining the pose. And as I do that, I'm gonna show you, just give me a second, here's the video. Into chapter. This project was really crazy because I forget about it, sorry. So it took me like real-time videos, something around 10 hours in 2 days. So yeah, let's continue. This was for WarGaming company. The game didn't release. They asked me to create characters. Often were done in ZBrush with Photoshop, they were painting, because concept art. Then was done also mixing ZBrush with Photoshop. These are the chapter 2. Sometimes they don't look so fancy like my final renders on my art station, but the work needs to be done, and that's enough because the proper department 3D art is gonna interpret this and make it look hella better. I'm also a creative designer. The common thing in this project is they all took me less than 3 hours because it was awesome to practice as a concept artist, not a proper 3D artist for production, I mean. This is a personal project that I did because I'm working on something that I'm gonna show you the next minutes. This was the first piece that I put in the brainstorm challenge. And it was done with ZBrush and Photoshop and photo bashing. It looks so complex, but it took me less than 2 hours because I was kit bashing, modeling a little, and just overpainting. It was crazy when I saw the things that you can achieve making photo bashing. I also designed vehicles, spaceships, things like that. A lot of people don't know me for this kind of stuff, but sometimes I work on these kind of projects too, because at the end I consider myself just a creator and I enjoy doing that. These ones were for books, illustrations. It's gonna be printed in 2 different projects. One on the left was talking about terror histories. The one on the right was about erotic things, showing the things that you like to do as an artist. And this project belongs to a personal project that I'm going to show you in the next minutes. I love this work in particular because all the places that I put the camera, I got interesting compositions, so I wasn't sure which one to pick. It was really hard for me. And it's fun because on ZBrush, the async don't look that complex. I'm going to show you. But mixing ZBrush with K-Shot helped me to achieve that. You can see there's a lot of shapes. I was just playing with the camera at different angles looking for interesting compositions, until I found something that I really liked, and it was the one that I chose for the book. So I'll back with the presentation on PowerPoint. Okay. This is on the other side. A lot of people know me for creepy stuff, but I love to make this kind of projects. It's more for advertising, more friendly. This was a fan art that opened me a lot of new windows, new doors for different companies around the world. So what I'm trying here is to show you that as a creator, you have a lot of markets. It's okay if you specialize in something particular. Actually, it's really good. But as a creator, you have a lot of opportunities. And as a freelancer, that's hella better because the income's just gonna come and come and come. That's awesome. Because since the past 5 years, I haven't looked for work. They are just knocking on my door. I'm trying to be professional to deliver what they're asking for. This was for production, advertising. And it's fun because I did it all on ZBrush. I used the Zero Measure, TV Master. It wasn't that hard because the project was simple. The panda was just sitting, just chewing, and just moving a little their arms. Nothing really that needed a retopologize. So I was just a painter, and here's like who it looks on production. And this render was for the look and depth. It was done on K-Shot. It was another market. I don't work so often, but as a creator, I like it. This one started as a joke because it's a likeness of one of my buddies. I was just trying to reinterpret his face on a Gears of War character, but I was curious about it, so I took it to a proper topology, proper UV max for production. And it took me a lot because on the other side, as an artist, I try to avoid that kind of projects because I love more the visual side than the technical side. I had the chance to work with Blur Studios for Love and Robots, and this chapter, Shapeshifters, and also on Sony Sage. Sadly, they don't give me the chance to show what I did, just give me the chance to show on the screen. I'm working on the old werewolf, the old werewolf. It was really fun because I still use a concept artist, and I always start in a deep pose, then I just pose it and just masking until I like what I did. So it takes me if I wanted to work on the next on the next steps of the project, and it was awesome for me because Blur was a dream job for me, and working there with him as a freelancer was even better for me. This is another project that I had the chance to work with a friend who's working right now in Access Studio. Just give me a second. It's a video. This was a fan-made about the Star Wars universe. And if you like that universe, you're gonna notice some of the characters there. If I'm not wrong, this project was done by 3 persons. My friend Saba, who was their director, and he modeled a lot of stuff. I was in charge of the characters. Isis Bemira, who was the sound designer. I'm sorry, there's no audio. And myself working as a character designer and 3D modeler. Okay, so let's continue with PowerPoint. Art is a lifestyle. That's something that I realized because many things, health, love, and make it work. They all came in different situations, sometimes together. I'm talking about health because when I started to work as a freelancer, that I wasn't making a really good amount of incomes, I was pushing myself to be better and better and better. I now realized that I was working something around 15 hours per day. I was sleeping just a little. And suddenly, I just went to the doctor. I realized that I had a kidney problem. I was about to lose it, and I had to quit everything for 5 months. Most of my incomes, my saves, were on medicines and checks. And it feels like, not good. But on the other side, I had this amount of time to work for myself, for my portfolio. And little by little, I started to realize that was a good decision because the projects that I did on that time helped me to work with Warner, with Blur Studios, with Disney, so starting with ILM. So that was pretty awesome on the Tabaxi situations. After that, I wasn't ready yet to learn how to manage my incomes. So I went through like 4 or 5 months without a job. I was fucking scared. And I played for different companies. It was the last time that I did it, 5 years ago. And I landed 4 projects in less than 15 days. So it was a help for me. I did it, but I just find it 3 times in less than 20 minutes. When I woke up, I was surrounded with nurses and doctors, and they told me that I just suffered a stroke because I just putting myself in a lot of pressure. And I was like, okay. So thanks to this, I learned that when you love it, you're always going to work hard. You need to learn how to work smart. Make every hour count, because you can be there suffering, and you're never going to do something good. Just relax, take a break, and go back to work, because you can lose it all. Loves too. In 2016-17, I was doing pretty well as a freelancer, big contracts, big names, all that kind of stuff. But I suffered a personal loss that broke me from the inside in a way that I never imagined. So people were looking on the social medias like I was living a good life, traveling around the world, working with big companies. But I was working inside, so I started to drink all the time. So I spent almost 2 years drunk because I feel so empty from the inside, but I was pretending that everything was awesome in my life. And love solved it all. When I started to travel, I met some guys like, I don't know if he's here, but Bimal Kerketa is one of my best friends. We started to travel in Europe, and little by little started to open myself with him. We started just to talk about life, because life happens. Now you need to learn about it and overcome. So it took a lot of time to realize that, but I love and I really appreciate all the people that supported me when I was a not so lovely person. And I realized that love means everything. For the people that is around you, for yourself, for the things that we love. Because I was just making art for the money, not for the things that taught me character, because I love it. I started to realize that. I started to create another personal project. I realized that one step at a time is more than enough to just, start going places. And all these experiences just make it worth. To never forget to enjoy the ride. And next I'm going to show you what I'm working on. This is my personal project. This is something I started to put things from all these bad situations that I just had to cross. And it's this, maybe you already saw it on the gallery. You just started to create a whole universe. I want to take this project to the big screen. I know it's going to take me a lot of time, but I want to do it. Because this has a lot of personal meanings, but also this has a lot of culture from around the world in a creepy way. There's another chapter that I did 3 years ago from the same Easter time developing. It was really fun because this is what the first project that I did to start to transform all these bad situations in something good. And I did it for myself. I was playing just to keep it for myself, but one of my friends pushed me to show it on the internet, and I started to land gigs that was on the other side, taking a lot of my time. So it was really, really hard to work on the next pieces I'm going to show you. Well, this is the same one, just playing with different angles and composition. It was another one. The meaning is you have the time, you put your heart, at the end, you give your head when you love it all. You're always playing for that, and maybe you can lose it all. This one is a judge in that world. This is like a demigod. This is the queen of the moon. This is something that I really love, looking at the stars, look at the moon. It's a lot of personal meanings because I was just walking in different streets around the world, just with my cigarette or a beer, or just thinking about random shit, looking at the stars, looking at the moon. So this was like a tribute to Tess moments, because some of them were really good, some of them were just happening. This one too is like, I don't know how to translate the ideas that I had, but it's like a tribute to all the bad things that are coming for you, and you're planning to lose it all, because 2 times in those years I tried to take my life away, and it was so hard. I was there, I was like asking why I'm here, and just to remember that there's always a reason to be here. And this is a rule of life: be cool, don't be an asshole, because I was an asshole. Well, now I'm gonna make a quick demo and something that I just started to do just to throw ideas, random ideas. And the funny part is that I sculpt almost nothing. I'm just gonna play with it. Give me a second. Where it is? Oh yes, I use the normal UI. I don't use quick shortcuts. I'm old-fashioned. Me
too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, default.
Yeah. Okay, I got really lost. Okay, yeah, got it. It's gonna be in a sphere.
Vintage is what it's called. Make it cool.
Oh, what's coming in? New document. No. Okay. Sorry. Well, I'm gonna start from. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous.
Don't be nervous. You're in charge. Here, give him a round of applause.
Thanks a lot.
Eres tú el jefe.
Gracias. Okay, you will see something fun here, because I'm just gonna use nope, there's not there, but I have a few videos that's gonna show that what I was trying to do here, because I'm looking for one of the good MM brushes. So I'm gonna improvise. I think so. I'm just gonna look for it. Oh. Oh, it's okay. I'm just looking for the file. Sorry. I think I don't have it here, but I have more things to show you. Like this project that I don't know how, but I really appreciate that landed to the gallery. It's this. If you notice, there's a destructive mesh, kind of. You can say I was just playing with the brushes, making wrinkles, playing with the pose, because I like to play with the hands. They are so expressive. Playing with the whole shape, the whole silhouette. Also, the effects were done on Marvelous. I just did this one of them. Let me check which one. Well, I just did one and just mirrored it and pose a little to make it a little different and not just like copy paste. That's what I did. playing with particles. Just all the textures are just poly paint because it's more easy to concept or create illustrations. I don't need to work on a proper topology, UV maps and baking. Just gonna take it to K-Shot. Give me a second, it's gonna take a while. If you have any questions,
Catch it. Ready? Nice.
Hello.
hello?
Twitter,
Soren.
I don't- Gotcha.
I have a
Twitter.
question. How you did the water? It looks like, well, it's
Can you speak a
spilling.
little here, please?
How did you do the water
The water.
effect, like that spill?
Yeah, it took me a lot of time. I was mixing one IM brush that I found together with just spheres, modifying them, copy and paste, and rotating to make them different. So it's a mixture of brush that I found on, it was free. And together we just play and moving. That was it. Oh?
Did you did it all by hand? That's what you're saying?
Not all. Was a brush with a splash, properly and a splash. I just increased it and I did more stuff, just spheres, rotating, moving, changing the shapes. So it was a mixture.
This question comes in from our Twitch viewer, excuse me. Jurin Phantom wants to know, how do you create such an outstanding final image from such a simplistic scene? The people in the temple and many more. And thanks for your honest story and experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know how to interpret it, man.
Say again?
Can you repeat it, please? Because
Yeah, sure.
I just got lost.
Juran Phantom wants to know how you create such an outstanding final image from such simple scenes, like the people in the temple and many more. And also he wants to thank you, or they would like to thank you, for your honest story and experience.
Thanks for that, man. Thanks for the support. And about that is, for me, it's just, it doesn't matter. It's going to be complex or simple. It's tell an history.
Right.
It's about the shapes, about the character, about the environment. It's going to be their one. So
Okay.
it's basic lecture of the shapes and playing with the colors, the contrast. Yeah, the basics.
Just the basic setup. Okay, go ahead in the back there, I guess.
Hi, my name is Mark.
Where
Over
you-
here.
Oh, hi, Mark.
First of all, wonderful presentation. I'm a real big fan of surrealism, and like a lot of your pieces, especially this one up here,
Thanks for
just
having me.
like screams that vibe. It wasn't really a question. It was just more one of the subject matters you tackled out of every presentation I've seen so far about the personal struggle it takes and the journey to get good, and like all the stuff about health and appreciating yourself. And even if you're in that like pit of despair, like, you know, you're trying to get better and better and you see all these people, it was good to have someone actually discuss that subject, so thank you.
All right, thanks to you for here, man, and for listening to me.
Just wanted to comment on that.
Over here in the middle, the mid-ground,
And,
Middle Earth.
Yeah, it's more of the question about freelancing. Like, how do you deal with the whole contract situation? Do you hire someone or do you do that yourself? And how do you deal with like some projects where they don't allow you to show your stuff?
Yeah, it's fun. For example, 4 days ago, I was just about to come here to LA, and NPC called me if I had the chance to work in a project as a freelancer for 3 to 4 days, if I'm not wrong. It was impossible for me because of this travel. But thanks to the art festivals, I have this amount of friends that I know they have the skills to cover that. So I write back to the NPC Human Resources, who was looking for people. I tell them, honestly, it's impossible for me, but I know these guys. I just put the link to the art stations, and one of my friends just sent me a message in the night. Thanks for telling me about him. Sorry, thanks for telling him about me, and he landed the job. So yes, sometimes I outsource. Sometimes when I don't want to get involved or I don't have the chance to get involved, I just recommend one of my friends.
So you cover a lot of different material, and you seem to jump around a lot between the concept art, the illustration, and the other things that you're doing. I kind of had one question based on that. Is there a routine that you have every day? Do you wake up and do personal work and then get into this stuff? Or is there ways that you deal with such a broad selection of different subjects as far as being self-organized?
I try to work at the maximum 3 different projects per month because I have work, I have my girlfriend, I have my family, and all is important. So I don't want to push myself to take this time from this and this and this. So I had to learn also in the bad way because, like I was telling you guys, I suffered a stroke because of that. So yes, I have my schedule. I don't have like a proper time to wake up. I'm trying to don't go to sleep so late. For example, per day I work at a maximum 8 hours. Usually in the same day, just switching from one project to another.
And do you show that diversity when you're looking for clients, or are you sure to split up your personal work into different portfolios? I know you addressed that a little bit, but.
Yeah, it depends because, like I was telling you, it's a long time ago since the last time that I looked for work. So most of my clients are recommendations, so we work on something and no they trust on me. So yes, I have different portfolios for different markets.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, hey, whoa. Okay, ladies first. Nice catch, girl.
Your work is very close to your heart. But I noticed that, of course, your subject matter can be very bold, a lot of bold, unorthodox choices. It's the kind of things that, for example, I would be a little bit afraid of making, but I would want to. But I always, I don't know, like, how do you find that courage to just express yourself, do something a little bit more occult or weird? And how do you do that?
Yeah, just go straight. And just go straight with the things that you love. Just throw it.
Don't care. Do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Work is your personal work.
Hey. So a lot of these images you say you can make in about 3 or 4 hours. Do you have any tips for speed or just like working smart?
Can you repeat it, please?
You have a lot of images that you say you can make in 3 to 4 hours. Do you have any tips on how to get faster or how to work smarter?
Honestly, I just did it at the beginning because I was pushing myself to be faster because there was like a bandwagon about be faster, be better, be faster, be faster. The cool sides about creating stuff like, for example, the likeness that I did for Woody Harrelson took me a lot of time because I had to relearn the things about the composition. I was just going straight without proper rules. Just for example, I have one video here that is just a time lapse. Just give me a second, I'm gonna find it. I know this is here. Yeah, it is. It was super fast. Oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, thank you. VLC, okay. Okay, cool. That's it. Thank you. It was fun because I was just landing from Germany to Mexico, and one of my friends told me that he just got a new computer, and he invited me to try it, to push it further. And he said to do this. Well, we were just drinking and talking about the travel. And when I had the time, I started like this from a dynamic sphere, just creating the basic shapes, and that you can see here. I was just trying random ideas. I never had like a proper concept to follow. I was just doing this and this and this. I'm gonna go a little faster. It's almost just sculpting. Like I was telling you with the simple basic brushes. I'm gonna skip it here. Wrinkles, details, from the general to the particular. Try to put in more tiny details. Break into symmetry. And I'm not sure, but yes, it was like less than 1 hour and a half from the sphere to something like this. I don't think that you want to see the video. I do the things that most of the sculptors do on ZBrush. That's why I consider myself most a storyteller, because I think my pieces tells a lot of histories more than my skills sculpting. So I don't know if this answered your question. Okay, thank you. There's another question, or?
Hello. All right.
Yeah.
I want to ask about the Joker Batman model.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit how you approached that? Did you do like both models separately, then put them together, or how?
Yes, I did exactly that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
In here? Yay or nay? Thought that was an arm. Okay. Oh, hey.
Okay.
There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice stuff, man. Congrats for that. Actually, big fan of all this work.
Thanks a lot, man.
So, yeah, it's really good actually share your story, because it's always you think about art, but as well, it's a background story for everything, right? So I think that is more important, making only art, just try to tell a story. I think it's what you make really good. And in terms of a question, actually, I want to go more for composition stuff. When you think about that, how actually you use for, reference, or where you have the inspiration for? It's more like where you got your inspiration, actually.
Inspiration comes from me in many ways. Meeting people like you, we were talking a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
I also had books, seeing other artists creating stuff, taking a break for art, just going and travel somewhere you had a chance, reconnect with old friends, family. So inspirations are all around there. I started to take a lot of photos since 2 years ago because I'm looking for that cinematic compositions. So I just take my cell phone, I look for a good place, an interesting scene, a couple kissing, somebody just walking around with his dogs, some things like that.
Yeah.
Life happening.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you.
experience all around. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
It's like a new game at the ZBrush Summit. Hit Louis while he's filling some chemicals. Right? It's not even close. You didn't even come close. I'm just kidding. Put an extra curl in my hair there. See what I was doing?
Just gonna open another project.
Like a little curl chemical. Hey, cool.
Okay, oh, sorry. Okay, it's this one. This is the last personal artwork that I did, and just gonna wait until it opens. And it was for that book that I was telling you about telling our histories. Is this? It was so fun to work on all of them. It also was difficult to pick one angle to tell the history, because I really love how he's looking at him. But he looks like a lot of power because I want to represent the flow too. So I was looking for this angle too. But I lost his view, so it was really difficult to find the right angle. But I found a way. It was cool. And I tried to show you something that I did ASAP, worked very well on K-Shit. Just gonna. Okay, send it. I'm actually surprised because I just finished it and sent it to the Pixologic team, and it's wait for me to find it on the gallery, because I just finished it like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Because thanks to have this amount of work, it's been really hard for me to work on personal stuff. Back in the time when I was looking for work, I was making like one personal artwork every 2 weeks, and now it's like 2 or 3 per year. So yeah, sometimes you struggle with that, but you need the money, you need the incomes, because sometimes we like expensive shit. And just waiting. Okay. Just gonna make a basic setup on the materials. Usually merge them all, because mostly we'll have the same rawness and lightness. Sorry, here it is. Yeah, it is. I use, after that, take apart the ones that's gonna be different, like this one. It's gonna be water. I just want to have this small reflect. We changed, we have already the HDR, lighting, environment. Change the mood here. I like this tool really a lot because I go from this cold feeling to something like this. Saturate a little less. I'm gonna pick this one. Just hide background all in black. Rotate it. Something around here. And just gonna give this piece some atmosphere. It's really fun because you discovered this, and that's along scale. And this huge cube will come the proper atmosphere. You change the material to scatter medium. Make it a little grayer. Increase the transparency a lot. And reduce the density. And the piece just start to pop up. Yeah, it takes a lot of power to the computer, but it looks really good when it's done. There's something there. Okay. Now reduce it a little more density. Like this. I also play with the materials, the characters, like reducing the contrast to make them grayer. Oh no, wasn't the ground material, it's this one. Okay, reduce the contrast. Play with the lightness of the environment, increase it. And here comes the more demanding stuff. It is the depth of field. Yeah, here this part. Select the camera, change the perspective, something like this. Where is what it is? Oh, here it is. Hey. Okay. I'm going to select this. The blur on the deep field. And yes, this needs a lot of power in the machine, but the results are really good. Show all parts. And the piece little by little going to start to show, and at some point it's going to look good. Not like right now. Well, yeah, of course.
A hush falls over the crowd
no one.
as you've mesmerized them. Mesmerized in blood. Oh, hey. Oh,
2 questions.
it's like being at the ball game.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
So, a lot of your work seems like a really cool combination of a lot of artists out there, but I was wondering about, for example, Guillermo del Toro as an influence on you. And
Yes.
if you've had a chance to work with him so far, or if you'd like to.
I would like to, man. It would be awesome. But as an artist, I'm this kind of guy who I want to work with him, not because I'm Mexican, because of my artwork. So I'm pushing myself to be there.
Thanks.
Thanks to you, man.
There was another hand up? Was there another hand up? Or was it just a result of the cube flying through the air and assaulting everyone? Boom. Anybody else? No. Yes? Yeah, that's right. Be courageous. Get that nice catch, man.
I was just hoping that you can maybe tell us about your IP a little bit, or is that something that you can't
Can
talk
you
about?
say once again a little louder?
Can you talk about your IP a little bit, or is that something you don't want to talk about?
I'm still working with that. Yes, I can tell you about it, but I'm still developing it. So that's my reason that I'm just trying ideas randomly. Because it's like the common history about the path of the warrior. You go from the bad, from the good to the bad, to realize, to make these synapses. And at some point, I hope to have a good end about it. I'm ready there. So yes, there's not so much to talk about it, not because I don't want it, because I'm still learning the ideas to give it like a proper structure. Well, that's it.
Well
Thank
is
you for being
right.
here.
Well is right. The smoke fills the room, and so it dawns the end of another presentation. Put your hands together again for Gilberto, Soren, Zaragoza.
Thanks a lot.
Amazing. Lot of fun happening here inside the ZBrush Summit 2019, Day 3. So don't forget, I know I keep saying this, 6:30. If you're still watching at home and you have a chance to make the drive, do the right thing. We'll be waiting. We're extending the hours, okay? We're going to ask some questions? Yeah. Come on down. Let's do some giveaways.
Let's give away some stuff on Twitter. Gilberto Zaragoza, they're going crazy for you online. They love you.
Yes, absolutely. One more time, man. Actually, let me stop you right here 1 second. I almost forgot to tell you. I think it was, again, a really, really courageous presentation. Really appreciate your insight and really appreciate your personal touch to that. It's very meaningful, and yeah, absolutely. You can clap again if you want.
Thank you, man.